protected by the ones from above. Together stand side to side. As long as we stay focused, we'll be okay. Always dealing with the same shit, different day. Till we let them know we're here to stay. No force against us will rise. They dim the light, at least they tried. This ain't a dream, this is real life. You wake up soon, just close your eyes. No, the lies they tell we don't believe. They try so hard to drown your scream. Repeat the past, but it won't last. This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side. This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side. Here we go again, trying to make amends. Try to bring peace to the violence. Do you really think I'm gonna stay silent? I wanna be the light, not see the light. Yes, one day it will come, but right now's not the time. The fire that lit inside of me created flames for all to see. Extinguish first the pain you breathe, and all hell will cease. This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side. This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side. People in the front, people in the back, protected by the ones from above. Together stand side to side. People in the front, people in the back, protected by the ones from above. Together stand side to side.
Thank you all for coming this evening. I am so grateful to you, my clients. You are what this evening is all about.
Nice to meet you. Hi, Terry Tolliver. Very nice to meet you.
Some of you are my business clients, and some my beauty clients, and some of both. I take nothing for granted, and I have enjoyed getting to know all of you. And I look forward to continuing to work with you to build your brand, uncover your beauty, and build your businesses.
Now that was a beautiful, beautiful piece. If you
Yeah.
don't understand anything about Brandon, tonight you're going to learn everything about Brandon. This is the Muse, and I'm Anthony Weeks, and of course my colleague Derek Brown. So Derek, I got to tell you,
Yo.
tonight I'm really looking forward to this conversation we're going to have because you know what, Brandon is everything.
Yes, it is.
It's they say what's in the name,
Mhm.
everything.
Everything.
Because at the end of the day, it's your name is what you have, and you can do one or two things with your name or your brand, right?
Yeah. You can make it great, or you can take it the other direction.
Oh my God, how you doing, my friend? How you doing this evening?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
It's been a rough week for me. I've been a bit lethargic. I've been dragging all week, and I'm not complaining, but it's been one of those weeks, man. I don't the energy's kind of low, but tonight I'm going to enjoy tonight's show. I have a lot of energy for tonight's show, so
You need some sea moss, or some lemongrass. That's what you
what?
need, man.
sea moss.
Yes, man.
What is that?
Sea moss.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the topic for next week's show. We're gonna talk about sea moss.
How are things? How are things in the Peachy State? How are things in Atlanta, Georgia?
Man, Atlanta would crumble if I was not here, man. So everything is wonderful, man. It's raining.
What?
It's raining. We got a lot of rain in and out of the forecast. But I mean, other than that, everything is good, man. I don't have any complaints, brother. I'm just riding the wave. See that wave?
Man.
You see that wave?
Well, I'm okay I'm okay in America's paradise, America's Caribbean, right now because there's some weird stuff going on in the DMV. They got some weird bugs.
What kind of bugs?
I don't know. I saw like big giant bugs. Kind of flying around the place, invading homes, invading cars and parking lots, and
what?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so the other day I was we were looking for my oldest daughter a car. So we were walking around, and we're walking on this car dealership's lot, and one of those open parking space. I swear to God, there was a beetle or something. It was this big around. I was like, that's not a typical Georgia bug. That thing was huge.
I think personally the pandemic has done something genetically to everybody, to humans, to animals, to all aliens. I mean, I think it's all kinds of stuff going on there, bro. But that's the conversation for another day.
Everybody peeing that vaccine out, so it's going into the water supply.
So anyway, listen. So our guest tonight, she is just a fantastic person.
Yes.
Ever since I've gotten to know her through my other colleagues, I've been kind of watching, her work.
Mm-hmm.
She's just exceptional at what she does. She is, she doesn't call herself a photographer, which is good because anybody with a camera they can call themselves a photographer, right?
Technically,
she calls herself. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
A brand architect.
Oh boy!
And is that some fancy stuff or what? Is that fancy or what?
That just changed my life, man. A brand architect.
Exactly.
That's powerful. That's powerful, man.
So let's bring it up. Let's bring it up, guest this evening. Let's bring it up, guest. We got a lot to talk about tonight. So let's bring in our brand architect.
Brand architect of the evening.
Yeah, let's bring her in.
Oh yeah.
So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, our special featured artist tonight. That's right. She's not just a brand architect. She is an artist. She creates art. Humans are her subject, and she do masterful work in her art. So, Joy, welcome to the Muse. How are you doing this evening?
Hi,
Thanks
Joy.
so much for having me, Derek and Anthony. Hi, everyone.
So, how's your day going so far?
Excellent. Busy working, and I was always behind the camera. Today I am in front of camera, so here we are.
Is
You
it
know,
awkward?
I gotta share some stuff. You know, just before we start our conversation with you. I like what you say. You believe in you believe people respond to people. You said it's that simple. It's all about. Are you ready for this, Derek?
I'm ready.
H to H.
Mm.
Do you know what? Do you know what H to H means?
Yes, because I did my homework. But I'm going to let Joy. I'm going to let Joy tell the other viewers what H to H is.
I gotta love it, because the space I'm in, I'm so used to saying B to B, right?
Yeah.
And here comes Joy. Joy's like, I'm in the people business.
Yes.
So Joy, H to H. I love that. And it's so appropriate for the business you're in. Why is that so important for you in terms of how you interact with your customer and your clientele that you work with?
So such a great question. It's the core of what we do. And thank you so much for starting with that. H to H is human to human. When people say I'm B2B, it's technically right. But emotionally, it's usually you don't go and talk to logo or the person, like the company's name. You talk to the person behind the company, right? So we deal with a person to person. So it's actually come up to person, human to human. So when people say business to business, they remove the human part. But actually, the human to human is where everything is done and decided. And when people give business, they don't come just because of a logo or because of a name. They come who's behind the business. We do the people we trust, we believe, and if we share core values with the same people, we give our business and we support that. And we are authentic to supporting, especially in this climate, which last 2 years, we see where the consumers puts their money, power of money, where if companies share the values, especially young generations, they're very value driven now. And the old companies, their old traditions cannot anymore survive when the young generation, they're more value driven. So that's where the core comes. And entire my business and what I do, I am more about humanizing brands. And the part where people become like business is all about logo, colors, yes, but these are the elements of the brand. But the heart of the brand that beats and this is the human, especially the people and culture who's behind the business. So that's where we come, especially when we're transitioning from this real life to digital world, we lost that connection. And people feel awkward to be like me in the camera, in front of camera, because we are really good in person, but we have to be in camera, in online, especially, and there's a big gap. What we are really are and how we present ourselves online. That's where I come with my team to help to bridge that gap. So they're exactly the same where they're beautiful personalities and the same online. So that's the whole core what I am, and with my team we are working, and we have been so blessed having amazing clients that enhance our work and gives us powerful, they're all the strong brands.
So one of your biggest fans is saying, "That's my brand artist," and it's all in caps. All right, you are her brand artist.
I don't take credit for their brand. They are all the strong businessmen. They build brand in person. What I help is they're just humble and very modest people. They don't want to put themselves online, digitally. That's where I come to help, just to translate. I get credit only for helping to translate their who you are digitally. That's where I get it. But when they give the whole credit, I cannot take that, because they're already strong brands and strong entrepreneurs. We just help to bridge the gap.
Okay.
And also, sorry about that, Derek. Also, you seem to have a strong sort of affinity for a great deal of importance for, empowering women, inspiring women. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, thank you for asking. It's all started when I immigrated to the United States 2010. I came with very skilled and working in a big brands. But when I came as an immigrant, I get lost. I didn't find the job that I tried. I couldn't find myself. I tried different jobs. I did feel lost, and I didn't feel it satisfied me. So then I wanted to enhance my technical skills, to get photography business, then slowly the business owners. On my career, on my path, I understood there's a lot of women lift me up, help me on my career. For men, I think it's different. For women, when they want to be in a business, it's little harder, especially when you are a woman of color or immigrant. We need to work double or triple. And I was fortunate enough to having all diverse women helping me, supporting. Even if I was doing okay, they were like, she is the best. So I believe that I am the best until I become the best. So I am a huge advocate of supporting women-owned businesses, because I do myself understand what I go through to be here. Thanks for the strong woman who fixed my crown when it was falling, pull me when I am getting too lazy, and push me down when I'm getting maybe too proud, right? So they keep me balanced. Now my niche, very narrow. I work with 99% with women-owned, especially minority women-owned businesses for the personal branding. So I live, it's my lifestyle, and I support, because we do understand the core values really well.
Fantastic. Yeah, Derek, you had a question. We need to take a break. You want to ask a question now, or we can come back?
Oh, we can do it when we come back.
All right. So what we'll do, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Joy, we'll show some images, some additional images that we have to kind of take folks through a chronology of, in terms of the start to and obviously what goes on behind the scene. All of the technical preparation goes into the whole production of helping to produce someone's brand. And we're going to get to see all of your wonderful clients. Well, not all of them, but a great deal of your clients that you've worked with. So what we'll do is we'll take a break. We'll come right back after these messages. This is The Muse. We'll be right back.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dancehall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one. Temperature rise, beer vibes in ya, this a hot one. Link up, connect, does a sweat when you're dead on the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
My name is Carolyn Howell, and I'm the executive producer of the Caribbean Food Network, the newest and the most fabulous way to eat, drink, and think food, fun, anything culinary, travel, tourism, you name it, we're in. Right now, I'm standing in Cookology, or at least one of the Cookologies. Cookology is a fabulous recreational and professional way to learn how to cook. And isn't that what we all want to do? Eating is how we keep going. So in a minute, I'm going to introduce you to Maria. Maria is the founder and the owner of Cookology. We're so excited about our partnership and what the Caribbean Food Network is going to do. We can't wait for you to see. So sit tight.
Hey everyone, welcome to Cookology Culinary School. This is our location in Boston Quarter. We have been here since 2019. We have another one in Dallas-Town Center. We've been there since 2009. We've been in business for 13 whole years, aside from the pandemic, which I did a lot of sleeping. But here we are. If you want to look in, this is what you see when you come by Boston Quarter. It's fun. It's fun. It's potential fun. Everybody is looking to do something with their friends and family. So here is the front door. Follow the sign.
All right, folks, we are back, and welcome back to the Muse. And our special guest this evening is none other than the brand architect. We have Joy Rahat on the program with us this evening, and we're going to get a 101 on everything to do with branding. If you have an image problem, this is the image doctor. She knows how to fix your brand. And so tonight we're going to learn everything there is to know about Joy this evening. Now, Joy, I want to kind of bring up, help folks walk through you as a brand architect. And this is a beautiful shot, by the way. Joy Rahat is founder and brand architect of Joy Rahat Branded. And she said it's all about people. And when you look at who she is and her journey in an incredible story, you are a U.S. citizen, but you're originally from somewhere in Asia. Talk to us a little bit about where you're originally from.
Yes, I came beautifully and hospitable in a mountainous country called Kyrgyzstan. It's in Central Asia. So we immigrated with my family in 2010, and now we are proudly United States citizens.
So how does it feel? How does it feel now to be part of this United States? Is it something that your family has wanted for a long time? I mean, I don't know what age you were, but once you got to this country, was it everything you thought it would be?
No, it's actually like 10 years before. So it's not. We are recently. We came educated. We used to have a good jobs, but it was something. It's adventure, like American dream. So when we won a green card, we said, okay, let's see something different. If we can try some new lifestyle and experiment something different lifestyle. So that's where we came to the United States. It's very typical, all the immigrants going through the first and second stage of adaptations. So we did well, but we have ups and downs. But what we are here is thanks for people who supported us all the way, family, friends, colleagues. So, and they make us home here, welcomed with supporting with every aspect of our life. So we are very humble.
Fantastic. Derek, I know you had a question that you wanted to ask our guest this evening. Well, why don't you go ahead?
So, Joy, I wanted to know what got you into branding. What made you start down this path, and who was your first client? I mean, you know, those are the things that I like to know. When did you get started, and why did you get started?
Thank you for asking. So it didn't start right away. It evolved by steps. When I moved 2008, like we immigrate 2010, that's where I didn't know what to do. So then I went to photography classes to enhance my technical skills that I really love to do. And when I finished, I worked at different companies. Then I established my first photography business. That's what previous clips you shared, my old clips that says all about emotions. That was my photography business. But yes, that's where I was a photographer. But that's where everything started, where I was attracting business owners mostly and doing portraits. And more people come, they were asking how I will use my images next steps for my business. It come very naturally for me to give them advice saying, okay, this is all the questions, consultations. Then I have been giving more advice and consulting and brand strategy than images. So I added brand consulting to my photography business. That's where we transitioned slowly to branding. So I separated my branding from my photography business. And now I have two businesses. One, Jorhat Portraits, which is just beauty and other portraits. And the branding is commercial and business. It's strictly. Now we outgrew that. Now we are full service brand strategy company that we help to bridge the gap for companies and for individuals, especially the privately owned. And we do provide full service, starting from full digital rebranding for them, starting from photography, videography, content writing, website creating, and translating their entire vision digitally. So that's where we are. So if you see, it goes like by stages, but not knowingly, but by request, it build up where we are today.
Okay. So for our viewers, you draw an interesting distinction, right, between your photography business and your branding business. For the viewers that don't understand, kind of explain, why branding.
It's a great question.
Why is it important? Why is branding important? Why can't I just take pictures and you take beautiful pictures? Why do I need to now consider branding? Why is that so important?
Let me go a little bit back. So you ask why branding. So I always ask core, like, what you do with branding. So branding, when we can buy any service, any product with one click away, we cannot compete with our service, with our pricing, with our quality of service, or anything in those days. What we can stand and separate ourselves by branding. So branding is about perceptions of the person, about the person's, about service experience. That's where it comes about how we do business. It's the core values behind the business, like why I'm doing, how I do. And that's the branding purpose comes, what separates me from others. We do this the same service, same things, but how you do and what's our main purpose. That's what the branding comes. For example, and that's the perception we develop when we call some names. For example, when we say Google, it stands for what? Search. When we say Hyatt, it stays luxury. Walmart is cheap. So it's a perception.
I like the Walmart one.
Yes. So that was the main goal before, like last 5 years, like where people want to instantly differentiate themselves from competitions, from others in one thing. But it evolves. Now it become more deeper, especially nowadays, very deeper, where brand needs to stand for something. Its values. What are you standing for? That comes the confusion for people, where they confuse branding with marketing. Branding is the values, marketing is a selling. So they don't build the basics, which is the core values, where they can attract target audience who shares exactly same values. And it is authentically attract them instead of selling them. Positioning them.
So for the layman person, you're saying obviously, especially Main Street businesses, entrepreneurs, they're trying to run their business, right? And so they know they need to market and promote their business. You're saying within marketing, there's a difference between branding and marketing. That's what you're saying.
Of course, it is when you put the horse behind the cart. Horse is a branding, cart is a marketing. When you build branding, your core value is straight. It is authentic, it's for long term. But people put first the money part to selling, and they push so hard with the horse, the cart, it should be opposite way. So people, if you build the brand on your name, it's easy to not sell, but position and attract the people that will authentically to position. Here's a couple interesting things. The statistics says that 70% of consumers say that they avoid buying any product if they don't like the company behind it.
Oh, wow.
It is trust. Where trust comes? Trust comes to understanding the core values again. Where you are standing for. What's your values? That's the getting to deeper to understand. And usually it leads to the owner or the culture and the people behind the brand, because that's people create the culture, the style, how they interact with their clients. So that's where we will feel like people feel like, are they eco-friendly? Are they open for diversity? Can I support this business? Or are they conservative? Are they open for new, how they call that? What's their values? So that's where people start picking where to put money when it comes to pick the brands and services.
Okay.
So usually that shapes the culture, and culture shapes by the owner, the who's on the top of the company or the CEOs, because that's the personal values reflect them through the company and how they interact and what they value first. So that's where the context where we will come to person to tell who's that person behind the business that shares amazing culture, that the voice, the way how they do business, the stories they do. And that's where my company comes to dig deeper, find that the person's value and make it obvious and share with their viewers and build the authentic attraction. That's where human to human and humanizing the brand instead of just logo. For example, when we call like big brands names, Facebook, it associates with person's name, Mark Zuckerberg. Amazon, it comes with Jeff Bezos, right? Now, more big companies, it's about the person, their culture, and what they stand for. That's where we support or not support.
Now, can I ask you this? As a branding company, have you ever been faced with a situation where you were you had a client that approached your company that had a bad reputation already attached to their brand that you kind of had to do a little reconstruction to? Is there an element of PR in what you do? Is what I'm asking, I guess.
This is such a great question. No one asked yet. I tell why.
You scored a big one, Derek. You scored a big one.
You know why? Because although I am in a business, I have my own brand. My main goal, attract the people that I like to work with, which means I don't attract people who has a bad reputation. If I attract people who is diverse, open mindset, open for changings, authentic, and vulnerable, they come here to open up, improve it, and share that. So for your questions, I think I am doing good on my branding. I haven't attracted those people yet. And
good.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, that does.
So basically, the questions, someone who's watching this, right? And they said, well, who needs branding? Is that individual? Is that a corporation? You know, who needs it? Who needs branding? Is that all of the above? Who needs branding?
While everyone needs branding, consistently work and be consistent in their values and stay open to change. Here's people who needs our services and branding in my particular, because there's a different segments and different type of brands and brand services. What we do is we help people who have already good established strong branding, but they're the gap between them real life and the digital presence. That's where we convert digitally. So that's people we need who has a gap and they're not presented well online. Those are our clients.
Okay.
Derek, you scored big, Derek. Somebody said you asked a good question. Elizabeth said you asked a good question.
Thank you.
Hey, that's a weird situation, by the way. That doesn't happen to us.
But you know what though, Joy, that really does speak volumes about you, because you know you only really want to attract people that are like-minded, and so the fact that throughout your years of business and service that you have provided to the community, you must have a wonderful reputation that only draws good people, and that speaks volumes. So I wish you many more years of good clients.
I do appreciate. I think that I can go back and give people might say, "Oh, no way, she always does." I do have clients come; they're not ready to change. We do often. A lot of time, I say no in a very good way. And I say to come when you're ready. And I have clients come after 2 or 3 years, say, "Joy, I am so ready." Because they say, "Here's my contract, please sign it." I said, "I am so glad when you're mentally ready, because we need to grow there to be vulnerable, authentic, in order to present ourselves as we are to our clients." Because people feel when we are not authentic. When we are talking with polished language, people want to know us as we are. So that's where people come and they put the guard, and I don't have a connection. I say, "Hey, I value what you do, but I think you will not get what you're expecting because I am not connecting with you. If I cannot connect, I cannot translate your vision and your authentic personality into digitally." So that's how we say no.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at behind the scenes in terms of your studio, your photography, and some of those clients, some of those satisfied clients that you've helped to photograph and help build their brand. Folks, we have special guests this evening. Well, featured guest this evening and artist is Joy Rahat. She is a master. She is an architect, a brand architect. We'll be right back.
I like that.
Break. Folks, we are back, and we have with us brand architect. We have Joy Rahat, and we're going to take a look. We're going to go behind the scene, take a look at some of her work in the studio, and see some of her best work in terms of the clients that she's worked with and the images and the brand that she's created. And so, Joy, thank you so much for being part of the program this evening. So let's pull up and go behind the scene and talk a little bit about your clientele. Who is your ideal customer as we take a look and we go behind the scene with you working with your client? Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is people, open-minded people who's lifelong learners, and people who's authentic, especially women-owned, diverse, and people who understand the value of investing in their own branding. Fantastic.
And so we look at some of the behind the scene work and what goes into the preparation for your clients. Everything from wardrobe to makeup. Talk to us a little bit about the process behind the scene and working with the clients.
So what you see, most people see, because I will go a little bit back. The process, it starts usually at the consultation behind the scenes about the person at the company, and we do the brand consulting to find out the main umbrella brand message and do audit if there's a gap between their online and offline presence. And once we do, we find that we do build the next steps. Do you need full rebranding? Do you need the content writing? Or do you need the websites that needs to be redesigned fully? If it's website designed fully, we create entire production around that concept, where I create the where I create the concept. Then with my team, my website designers, they design the around that content. My copywriter creates the content around that concept. Then for videographer, we create the script for the video storytelling. But the most important part, I do handle the portrait part, which is the photography. You see a lot me on the behind the scenes. People think that's the branding, but photography is on the top of the iceberg. It's like a 30% what people see. Everything is done under. It's the visual part. So that's where I comes in. I love that part, every single elements of photography, because that's where the process comes to working one-on-one with the owner, CEO, or the top management to convert in their digitally and to tell their stories through visuals. Then those images goes to websites where people meet them first before even they meet them in person, and it comes together with the context of the text that telling their stories or telling the video stories in 3D in a more like still images. So that's the entire process of behind the scenes, what we do with my team. But mostly people see me doing the photography. That's what they know me as a photographer too, as a brand photography. So that's the full project. But I have a lot of repeat clients. The clients, they have already good online presence. They need to come update their current consistent look for next level. That's we do just the branding photography, which we call personal branding. Commercial branding. They add the new services. They add the new people in their About Us page and the team. That's we come and help them to match or level up to next level that match to their values. So that's the entire process, creative process we do.
Yeah, Derek, you are a professional cinematographer, photographer. Based on what you hear and what you see, what do you say? What's your take on what Joy's sharing?
Oh, I mean, she's 100% correct. I started a campaign with my company called the You campaign, where basically the project was dealing with you, because you are behind your brand. You know, a lot, and Joy is 100% right. When you work with clients, you know, there's something to be said about a client that can actually get inside themselves and tell their story. I'm a storyteller, you know, I make documentaries and stuff like that. And so I love to hear people's story because no one just showed up one day and it worked, you know? And so when you add that human element to a person's story, you know, to their business and to their brand, it always has a tendency to touch a potential client or potential clients. And that's what you want. You want to bring people in that can relate to you. And Joy is hitting the nail right on the head with everything that she's saying. And before we talk about this image right here, Anthony, can you just bring Joy up on the screen just by herself? Now, for those of you that are not, that may be novices, I have been looking at Joy's setup, and I'm like, she probably got soft boxes back there with lights, and because I mean, her lighting is flawless. I don't care where she moves. There's never a time when she's not lit. I mean, everything looks great. Audio is great, and that's how you know that she takes pride in her work. I mean, this is like textbook branding right there. She looks phenomenal. Can
I give a credit to my videographer RG? He has been here since morning. He called me. He was in the he has been like, Joy, text me. Joy, do FaceTime. Let's do. Everything is good. You are good. So he even put me all this stuff like, now you are set. So I am approved by my team.
Absolutely. So let's talk about what is the most ideal headshot or portrait to take. I mean, I'm looking at one of your work here. Talk a little bit about this group shot you're taking. Tell us a little bit about this group shot.
This is group shot. If I go just single ones, one of the if you can change for single, I can give that because in general, for me, portrait is about when you stop and you connect with people and feel the energy and you see the person's eyes through their soul and you start silent conversation like, who's this person? I want to learn more. If I can give that, I reach my goal as a portrait photographer because I stop you, I give you attention and you look the eye of the person, you feel the energy and you feel like you want to know more about that person or you feel you are resonated with that person. And it's different and it stops. There's a lot of elements, a good portrait, which a lot of people might think it's wardrobe, it's styling, it's makeup, lighting. Yes, of course, but they're the elements. They should be not competing, but completing the look and telling the story. Most of the time, a lot of people I see when they do branding, something overpower person, we lose the person behind the overwhelming dress, overwhelming something of like, I lose the person. My main goal is about eye connections. This eye should be in the portraits and you can connect with the person. That's what my clients say, you have the energy on your portraits. And I am humbled to know that they read my portraits the same way I do.
That's awesome.
Now, is this considered a headshot, one of your most ideal headshots?
There's no ideal headshot. Every person is unique. Each portrait is unique. It might be just a good portrait for you, one thing, but there is a huge story behind every portrait and every story. They come to just celebrate and this milestone. So it was just a red line when they taking their feeling powerful. So when I take portraits, I feel like people come like powerful woman in business, a man. They let me be boss that day, literally give the trust. And my goal is them drop that guard that they keep all the time and to connect with them. And when I connect, I can see them so authentic. And I have my feelings so strong. I can feel person when I am photographing. And I try, when we connect, that's the best portrait. That's the good for that person, not for you or for me, because that's where that person sees themselves with their eyes authentically and they feel empowered, beautiful, authentic, and humble. That's where the beautiful portrait for the client, not for myself.
Yeah.
And most of the portraits you see here, since I said I have two genres, which is portraits for general people and the business. So what you see here is mixed of the portraitures for high school seniors, because my clients, business people, they bring their kids back to senior portraits for their family portraits. So I have the same clients going like in the two genres. So that's why you might see different genres here.
Well, they all look fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Derek, what impression do you get as you're looking at some of these? I mean, incredible work. I mean, the work is rich. Yeah. What's your take on some of this?
This particular portrait, I will just tell, she is the first Black woman ethnographer, oral ethnographer that tells the Black history only in the United States. Wow. She wears the clothings. Her name is Marianne. We did entire her branding on a website, mariannehistorian.com.
Yes.
So this is how she goes, wears the authentic clothing, goes to farms and cooks and tells the history of the slavery to people in the when they have special events in museums and all these things. And she tells that story. This is the only woman she does oral history. So in order to create that, I wanted we together work to bring her authentic clothings and create these images for her, that when the museums or Congress wants to hire her services to tell the stories, that's where she has a live museum on her website where people say, okay, I want you to be these clothings and tell the story, especially cooking during the slavery. So as I said, every image has such a big, strong story, and I cannot tell with one portrait. That's why it's element. When people scroll it on social media, stop and they say, who is this? They go to the website. Then that's the entire world open up. People will read, who's that person? What's the values? What they see, then contact this person. Then my job is done properly. All the chain is done.
Yeah, Derek, as you were saying?
No, I was as you scroll through, I mean, I'm just mesmerized. I also like eyes, because eyes tell the story of the person. They really do. You know, if you ever wonder how a person feels or what's going through their mind, just look into their eyes. You know, it tells you if they're happy. It tells you if they're hurting. It tells you if they're angry. It tells you if they're afraid. Eyes tell a story, and the fact that Joy does such a wonderful job of telling their story physically through their wardrobe, but also through their facial expressions. You know, that I mean, that's just I love it. You know, when I do interviews, you know, a lot of times when videographers do interviews, they always have two cameras set up, and they always kind of have you kind of look away from the main camera. And I'm a little different. If you're telling a story, I want you to connect with the people that you're telling the story with, to rather. So look at the camera. Don't be afraid. I know you've heard, I tell them all the time, I know you've heard some other stuff. Don't be afraid to look at the camera, because that's when you become the most sincere, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I completely 100% with you. You talk about video genre, right? You can see people 360 degree or at least two-dimensional. When it comes to portraiture, it is two-dimensional. It's so flat. So when people, and there's some misconception that I am trying to break it, which is when it comes portraits, people have some concepts like, this is me, one image. But we as a persona, we have so many personalities.
Yes.
And one image will not portray that one thing. That's why we create series of images to showcase our personalities that we can feature in each different time. For example, for LinkedIn, for business, especially for women when they work in tech and fuel companies, we make them powerful, confident. When they're in a sisterhood where the networking, so woman-owned, we do soft, smiley, friendly. So you have the message with the soft micro elements, with the even with dressing, how you posing, right? Those we create series of images. That's where come branding images that you strategically position yourself by choosing certain images for certain audience. You cannot go with the one image everywhere.
Right. That's right.
We need headshot, which is the head and shoulders for the small profile picture, for example, that have a small window. And if we put their full length, we don't have connection with eyes. We are just silhouette.
Yes.
What's the purpose of showing your entire body when I cannot connect with your eyes? That comes the headshot. The portrait is about the body language. You're talking with your hands, and from knee and up, that I can see you're positioning yourself. That's where we use mostly for covers, about us page, or the Facebook's the cover picture, where we have horizontal bigger space to tell our stories. That's why we need series of horizontal, vertical, close-ups, portraits, full lengths, all series. That's why you can see just the minimum images. That's what now people are understanding a lot, and that's what we create the behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's incredible. So we only have a couple minutes left. Obviously, like I said, there's so much content. And what I'd like to do is use this opportunity to talk about, you know, in terms of the different mediums working with, right? Obviously, there are different mediums you can work with. As we look at the different services that you have to offer and talk about that medium, you have branding, personal branding, website design, photography. Give us a little bit of background and talk about how people are able to get in touch with you in terms of the work that you do.
First of all, everyone comes, I need one headshot. And that's where everything starts. Like, what do you do with that headshot? Oh, I will put my website. Do you have a space there? Horizontal, vertical, what colors? Do you have a story there? Then that goes the big. That's what we create the entire campaign. So a lot of people now understand really Savis. So when you go to my website, jorahatbranding.com, I do have a free brand audit services. That's where you can request my 30-minute service. I can review your online presence, your website mainly, and I can give my expertise if there are gap, if there is this authentic voice, or if there are just fillers, or how we call just standard language, which is not showing who you are. So that's what we do. Yeah, and the medium where I like mostly is photography. That's they are my heart. I love everything about photography because that's the showstoppers. So now the core of the branding is separating yourself from others. How we do when it's so noisy in this digitally. When we scroll, we have 30 seconds of attention. I want to stop, pay attention, and then once they read, they go to website, then they see entire work.
Oh, uh-oh.
Well,
and the show, the clock, there she's back. She's back. Oh my goodness. You froze for a second there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. And anyway, we're out of time anyway. We certainly, we look forward to having you back on the program.
Yes.
And fantastic work. You are extremely gifted, talented photographer, branding person, and looking forward to being able to continue to be able to showcase and collaborate with you on many projects. I want to thank you for being in the program this evening. All right.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Dara, for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks, until next week, that is The Muse, and we will talk next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all for coming this evening. I am so grateful to you, my client.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dance Hall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download